You see, living is the miraculous, and it is now. All you know is you're alive. You have no good explanation as to how you could possibly exist from, say, what might well have otherwise been the case, namely nothing. Not even nothing. All you know is you exist. But there's no explanation other than such as you wistfully think. You assume that whatever's now, in some sense, depends on some interrelated happening from the past, through time, interrelated, that affects the present. Because you see this in other things, in that you've lived yesterday and today. And there's some sort of continuity of relationship which you call causality. You know, it's like kinetic energy. Why should the fact that if I look at yesterday and the day before, such and such was happening, that transformation continues into today? There's a car moving down the street. If it was going at 50 kilometers per hour a moment ago, it's probably going at about 50 kilometers an hour now, depending on how much it was accelerating a moment ago compared to the moment before. That's all very reasonable. You've got an explanation, except you've no idea why this causality should exist through time, or really what time is. It's convenient to think of it in terms of moments or minutes or hours or years, etc. But looking at either gives the same sort of, any of such gives the same sort of impression of this, the previous moment affecting the present, to some extent, depending on how the previous moment compares with the moment before. But why should this be? Why should anything be? It's a complete mystery. You know, it's a bit like, and I've said it before, we've got magnetism or gravity, and you can see it, the relationship, in a series of moments through time. And you say, there's gravity, and it acts in the following way. And this gives you great predictability in your moments in the future. But you've no idea why. Why should such a relationship exist between moments of time? Why should time exist? Does it exist? Or is it just a convenient way of us handling something we otherwise know not what? You see, living, both being and change is being different from one moment to the next. And not only so, but awareness seems to be a very significant part of living. You know, I sleep at night and I don't seem to be aware. Or is it that I was aware, I simply do not have the memory of such? In which case, memory both short and long run, are a vital part of living. What's the nature of memory? We think of it as being located, some sort of record we can refer to in the brain. Fine. Why should that be so? Do you see, we can observe the consequence of causal relationships. We don't know really what we mean by cause, other than the fact it's something that results in the relationships we see. But we don't know why we're seeing it. We say we're seeing it because of some concrete external reality. Could well be. Why should we have cognizance of it? Why should even we be from not being, presumably? What's the nature of causality that can get something from absolutely nothing and not even nothing? Well, we don't know. We might have a theory. The theory that we might have will be the most adequate one, or the theory that we hold to will be the most one that gives the most explanation and consistency of understanding to that which we experience. Some sort of circularity going on here, because what we experience depends on our consciousness and being. It's a bit like trying to understand how the pot could make itself. How it could exist at all except for some other external cause, creator. And that doesn't seem to help, because we're up with the same problem. Why should the creator exist, and how could he have come about? Is it the case that everything has to come about, or is there necessarily something eternal? Does such a concept make sense to us? Well, no, because we can't observe the eternal. We can only conceive of it, think of it, imagine it in some sort of open-ended thought. Do you see life, which is absolutely fundamental and paramount to all of us, is not something we understand at all? It seems to be essential and very vividly extant, but we've no idea why. It's just a miracle. We have it. What I'm saying is, at every moment of your existence, you are actually being confronted with the most extraordinary miracle. It's just that you've become so used to it, you don't even notice it. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Dad, that we have this incredible miracle of life. And we choose. Thank you, Father, that we choose to thank you for it. We don't know how you brought this about, that we exist and can be thankful to you. But we're so glad it's so. Love you, Dad. Thank you, Dad.